Good morning. Today at Police Headquarters, Detective Sergeant Debbie Harris of Homicide will provide an update on the investigation into homicide number 27 for 2014.
Good morning, and thank you for coming. As mentioned, I'm Detective Sergeant Debbie Harris, and I am the case manager for the homicide of Jelena Loncar. With me today are Jelena's sister, Lana, and supporting her is her cousin, Mike. What I'm going to be bringing to your attention today are two scenes. The scene in relation to Jelena Loncar, and also a secondary shooting that had occurred approximately 25 minutes prior to the murder of Jelena Loncar. On August 26 at approximately 3:15 in the morning, Jelena had just left work and was attending in the area of Wellington and Spadina to meet up with a group of her friends. She was going there because one of her other friends had a birthday party, and she was also performing at one of the local establishments on Wellington. By the time that Jelena arrived there, the establishment had already closed, and her friends were all chatting out on the street. As she approached and she started speaking with all of her friends, 3 vehicles arrived on Wellington, just west of Spadina Avenue. 2 of the vehicles passed where Jelena was standing, and the third vehicle held back. What you can see here on the screen are on a video loop of vehicles arriving. Now, this angle that you're seeing right now is Portland Street, and this is from King Street. So these vehicles are traveling from King Street, traveling eastbound and going south on Portland Street. At 3:07 a.m., surveillance cameras picked these vehicles up coming down Portland Street. A group of males get out of these vehicles and approach Jelena, her friends, and the crowd that were standing out front of one of the establishments. Shortly after this group of individuals approached the crowd, gunfire was heard, and Jelena was shot. A second male was also shot as he was traveling westbound on Wellington Street towards Spadina Avenue. This shot is of the same 3 vehicles at 3:14 a.m., now leaving Wellington Street. So at 3:07 a.m., these 3 vehicles, this one here, followed by the secondary vehicle, and followed by this third vehicle, arrive. And at 3:14, those same 3 vehicles are now northbound on Portland Street and continue north through King Street towards Queen Street. I now want to go back to at approximately 2:45 a.m. in the area of 689 the Queensway in the rear parking lot, which is the Queensway just east of Royal York Road. There was a call for sounds of gunshots. After the sounds of gunshots call, these 3 vehicles were seen leaving the area in the exact order that they now arrive on Wellington Street. Not only did these same 3 vehicles leave that shooting, but forensic evidence links the crime scene at 689 the Queensway and our murder of Jelena Loncar. I'm going to give you a brief description of the 3 vehicles just as you see them on there. The first vehicle, as confirmed through Chrysler Canada, the white vehicle, is a Chrysler 300. They believe to be a 2011 to 2012 base model, and it's the one you see second here right now. It's white, it has no sunroof, standard rims. It has no front plate or a front plate holder. And it has a small black antenna roof knob, as you can barely see as it's going by. The second suspect vehicle that you see now is a dark color, 4-door vehicle with no sunroof, again, standard rims. It has small spoiler lip on the trunk and has both front and rear plates. The third vehicle, again, is a dark-colored 4-door vehicle with tinted sides. The front and the rear windows are all tinted, and it has no sunroof. Again, standard rims on the front and the rear plates. I also want to bring to your attention a person of interest. This male is described as male black, approximately 18 to 25 years. He's approximately 5'10" to 6 feet. He's a thin build. He has gold grills on either both his upper and lower, or possibly just his lower teeth. And his hair is short, possibly in cornrows. I'm now going to introduce to you Jelena's sister, Lana.
For those of you watching, I just, I just want to let you know that my sister was literally the nicest person in the world. From the moment she woke up, she had a smile from one side of her face to the other. She greeted everyone with a massive hug. She attended every birthday, every celebration. And I didn't just lose a sister. I lost a best friend and a roommate, and my parents lost their oldest child. I can't say anymore.
I would like to implore to the public, to rental car agencies, not only witnesses who may have been on Wellington Street at 3:15 a.m. that we haven't spoke to, but also witnesses from 689 the Queensway to come forward. They may not have realized that the shots fired at 689 the Queensway inevitably ended up being the same persons that have now taken the life of Jelena Loncar. We can be reached directly through me at our homicide unit, 416-808-7400. You can also call Crime Stoppers anonymously. Crime Stoppers also has a Facebook page where you can go online anonymously, and there are several other ways of being able to notify me or Crime Stoppers just by visiting their website. And at this point, I would like to close.
Targeted, or was she at the wrong place at the wrong time?
There is nothing in Jelena's lifestyle, background, friends, that would indicate that she was targeted.
Where's this camera?
This camera is located on Portland.
Can you talk about the other victim and perhaps the connection there?
The other victim is a male. He was also attending in that area with a friend. And through our investigation up to this point, we believe that he was who the intended target was to be. We are open to any further investigative leads if anyone has any other information.
What's his condition? Is he cooperating with police?
He is.
What's his condition?
He's been released from the hospital.
How far apart were they from each other during that accident, the 5-year-old man?
That I'm not going to comment on.
But is it like a stray bullet against Jelena?
That's what I believe.
And do you know any more about, can you say any more about that other shooting? Nobody did any other shooting, but it's prior to this, right?
It's 25 minutes prior. I can tell you that the exact route of the vehicles through video surveillance cameras. They leave 689 the Queensway. They travel along the Queensway. They turn south on Strawn Avenue to King Street. At King Street, they travel eastbound to Portland. And then on Portland, they travel southbound to Wellington. They do not stop in between the shooting at 689 the Queensway and when they come to Wellington.
What happened in that shooting? Was somebody hit, is the building hit, a car hit?
There have been no victims that have come forward in that.
No shots went? Or do you, can't say?
Well, there's forensic evidence at the scene, but if it hit somebody, we have no evidence of that because nobody has come forward and reported.
So the second, or the shooting of the other victim, where did that happen?
Of the second victim in relation to Wellington, as he's running along Wellington. Yes.
And that was 25 minutes before this shooting?
No.
How far
We-
apart were they?
Both of them were from this shooting on Wellington.
So you said he was running? So he sees the gunman or something and he starts running?
I'm not going to get into what he saw, but yes, he was running along Wellington.
Behind that?
I'm not getting into that.
So that police car was responding to the shooting?
It
that we
was.
see, yeah. And there was no sort of identification of any cars that they know of that were part of the shooting?
We're still
Okay.
looking into that. Yeah.
So Jelena and the other victim, they didn't know each other?
No, they did not.
The distance between Jelena and the second victim, how far apart were they when they were shot? How far away was the second man who was hit?
I'm not going to get into that.
Any thoughts on street gang connections? Obviously, this is a group of people armed and targeting someone, and they were involved in another shooting.
Correct. Our investigation is open to any and all angles that we have to look at.
But are you zeroing in on that angle at all?
Not specifically.
Was the other victim targeted?
Yes.
Was the other victim also at the Sea Lounge that night, or was he just happened to be walking by?
No. From everything that I've learned so far through the investigation, he was not a patron in the Sea Lounge.
The person of interest, were they an occupant in one of those vehicles?
Yes.
And at this point, are you calling the vehicles of interest or suspect vehicles?
Suspect vehicles.
Do you believe the suspects to still be in the Toronto area, in Ontario?
That I don't know.
You may have mentioned this. Are you aware of which vehicle the shots were fired from?
The shots were fired outside of the vehicles.
They got it. The suspects got it.
They exited the vehicles, yes.
Do you know how many shooters there were?
No. Okay.
One final, how confident are you that you will find those responsible?
I'm extremely confident.
Do you have the shooting on video? Was that caught on video?
I'm not commenting on that.
Okay.
How many males got out of the vehicles?
Approximately 8 to 10.
8 to 10
Yes.
got out, and they approached specifically one group of people, or?
That I'm not going to comment on.
What are your thoughts on it? Here we are in Toronto, another case of, armed suspects aiming at someone and an innocent victim hit. I mean, this seems to happen on a continual basis in this city. I mean, that's got to be concerning for officers. It's concerning for the public.
Yeah. Again, that's not something I'm going to talk about. What I'm here for today is this specific case. I'm not going to get into what other investigators or what their thoughts are.
What
Okay?
advice would you give to
Thank you.
shooters? Are you asking them to turn themselves in?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes today's conference.